joins they can join on the way. So thank you all for turning up. We've got just half a dozen of us here at the moment. Very quick introductions because while some of us know each other, there's a couple of newbies here. So I might start at the top. Just quickly, who you are and what you do, Cheryl?
I'm Cheryl. I'm based in Canada. Just doing work and stuff like that for my husband, who's a builder. Just trying to get that all up in the sky and sorted, and Andy has been amazing. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Cheryl. And Kay, happy you could join us. Tell us who you are and what you're doing right now.
So I'm Kay. This is in my lab here, and my helper Annette there. We're manufacturing today, so we make all natural skincare from herbs that we grow on our permaculture farm, Saran Organics.
Thanks, Kay. Who we got? Julie, quick intro.
Yep. Hi, I run Sapphire Coast Business Networking, where I connect, promote and inspire people through networking events, online marketing and workshops on the Sapphire Coast.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks, Julie. Karen, coming to us from Bali.
Hi there, I'm Karen. I'm Andy's sister. I'm living up in Bali. I run a company called Sharing Bali and Beyond, and I run healthy fitness retreats around the world. So I do Timor-Leste, the French Alps, and I'll be going to Fiji too. But I'm based in a small little village up here in Bali.
Awesome. Hi, Nicole. So I've just muted you and unmuted you because you have a bit of background noise, but thanks for joining us. Nicole's new to testing out the Working From Anywhere membership. Hopefully she stays on. Can you introduce yourself, Nicole?
Yeah, I live in Jindabyne. I'm originally from Queensland, so I'm sort of already doing the remote thing somewhat. I duck backwards and forwards to Queensland, and I just keep everything online. So I help people with their websites, and I also have my own products, which I market online, which is photography tutorials.
Awesome. It's really, you must have that cafe doesn't have a fantastic internet connection, Nicole. So
no, they don't have any.
Very hard to hear. So that's okay.
Cafe upstairs.
Okay, no worries. We'll work with that. So thanks for those introductions. I'll mute you there, Nicole. It's easier. We do have a couple of questions that have been provided or suggested or come to me before. One is from Jenny, and Jenny asked, how do you share your Google Calendar with someone, and can you do it using the Google app? So the good thing about everything Google is you actually can share everything with anyone, and you get control over what permissions you can set for that. So I know Kay knows all about this because we shared Kay's calendar, so she didn't have to use the one on the wall anymore with her husband, so that was good. But
I got a question too.
Yeah, that's good. But before we go, does anyone firstly use Google Calendar, and secondly, has anyone shared their calendar? So yes, Julie, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nicole, no. Cheryl, you use the Google Calendar?
I use it, but I haven't shared it.
Okay, so are you happy if I just give you a very quick demo on how you can share your calendar, Google Calendar?
Yep, that'd be great.
It's really easy. So just to give you a tip, the second part of that question was, can you do it using the Google Calendar app? You actually can't use the app to share it, but it's really easy to share from your computer, and there's another way you can actually share it too. So I'm in my Google Calendar here, and this is a list of my calendars over this side. All you need to do is go to this calendar, which is my main calendar, click on the three dots there, open up settings and sharing, and that'll open up this screen. And if we go down to the bottom here, where it's share with specific people, you just simply click on add person. So you can add someone here by their email address. So if I wanted to share this with Karen, of course, she's already in my address book. If she wasn't in my address book, you just add the email address in there. And there's 3 options. Actually, there's 4 options depending on your calendar that you can share just your so they can see only your free and busy schedule. Just a minute, I just remembered I was meant to be recording this for someone. I know it is recording, that's fine. So you can share your so they can see only your free busy and hide in the details. You can share it so you can see all your event details, and you can even share your calendar so someone else can make changes to your events. So it gives you control over how you share things. So depending on who you're sharing your calendar with, you can give them certain permissions. So you simply click on whichever permission you want there and click on send and click on invite. Karen will then get an invite to my calendar. And once she receives that, she can accept it, and then it will, if we go back out of settings here, it will show up in these calendars on this side here. So quite easily you can share your calendar. The other thing you can do is you can actually request someone's calendar. So if we go up to I'll just click out of that. We go up here where it says add a colleague's calendar. If you typed in an email address there, if I type that in, she's saying it doesn't have they need to have a Google Calendar. You type an email address in there and you can request for them to share their calendar. So does that make sense to everyone?
Very easy. So
Yeah.
Is it indefinite, or you can revoke that calendar at any time?
So you can revoke it at any time. So if I go back into, I'll just click out of that somewhere. If we go back into, go away. I can just get that to go away, which I should be able to do. So I just got to wait for my internet to catch up. So if we go back into those 3 dots again, and settings and sharing, and if I scroll down, it'll show me who I've shared these calendars with. I can then change the permissions here, or I can simply unshare this calendar. So if I click unshare, it unshares it. So you can change the permissions, you can unshare it, you can revoke access at any time.
And could you just even say April? You know, like, do they have to have the whole lot, or can you just sort of say, well, I only want you to see April?
I don't think you can do it by specific month, no. You can actually create specific calendars, create a calendar for a specific event, for instance, or for a particular organisation. If you want to create a community calendar for your sewing club or whatever it may be, you can create a calendar over here that's just a new calendar and share it with particular people. So they're only seeing events and things that are relative to that organisation. So you don't have to share you can create a new calendar for a specific purpose.
You've got that at the bottom there, Andy, with your work from anywhere events calendar, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's how I do mine too. That's how I do it.
Yeah, no, that's one that's integrated with Asana that I actually don't use at the moment.
Okay.
But that is other calendars that you can. And you can see there, I've also got my Facebook events. So any Facebook event that I say yes to on Facebook, it automatically comes in here. You can see I've added it down there, which I went through at another time. So that just saves a bit of time where I don't have to add events if I'm in 2 places. Does anyone have any questions on that?
So with the Facebook one, so
Yep.
How do you add that? So you just go into other calendars, click on the little doodad.
Now I've got it. I've actually done it. I've done a quick video on that, Kay. I might send it to you because I've done a video on it, and I'll send it through to you. It is quite easy to add, but yeah, you have to go and do it through your Facebook.
Okay.
I'll send you that bit because I can't remember without quickly going back to it.
But the problem with that is, though, your Facebook account has to have the same Gmail email as your Google Calendar to connect them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which it should do anyway. You know, the best practice would be to have it all connected. So.
Except that Facebook doesn't like info at.
No. They don't like info at?
No.
Hey, Jason.
How you going, Andy? Hey, everybody.
Good. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Jason's just going to give us a very quick intro, seeing he's just hopped in.
Yep. Sorry, I snuck in a bit earlier, but yeah, just everybody I think knows me, but just Jason from 2Pi Software, and hoping to help out if anybody has questions for web or SEO stuff, can help out. So
awesome, thanks, Jason. We've just covered sharing Google Calendars. So has anyone got any other questions around that Google Calendar?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Nicole, I had you muted so you couldn't actually ask any questions.
Should I just use the chat? I saw a little chat box because of the background noise here. Should I just be
that's right.
instead?
Yeah, no, that's okay, because I've got this, I can't see the chat at the moment. But yeah, do you have any questions around the Google Calendar?
No, it looks good. I've actually had a share with iCal being on Mac, but I get it that, you know, Google's just across every platform, whereas Mac is just for Mac users.
Yeah, okay.
So
all right, no worries.
I've got it with the Mac version.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, no, there are other versions. That's fine. Other options.
Well, I get stuck when everyone sends me a Google share, and I haven't got this set up yet.
All right. I'm still working on you on that one.
You are still working on that one.
Yeah. You're not yet a believer, but that's okay.
Little land.
Okay, I think we've just about covered that, so let's move on to the next question, which comes from Karen. As well as a file name. This is a conundrum. I think the problem that everybody has. I'll just weigh into that to start with. And firstly, Google Drive don't have tags, so you can't use tags. But a couple of things from best practice in Google Drive and that I've been shown and what I've been told is best practice, and that is firstly not to have the old hierarchy of folder, subfolder, sub-subfolder and sub-sub-sub-subfolder, is to have at the very maximum a folder and a subfolder. And if we look, and for organisations, the other tip around that is having your top level folder around the various areas, you know, your organisational structure. So I've got working from anywhere, operations, sales, finance, multimedia, video, membership. So have something that makes sense and have subfolders under them. As far as tags go, Google relies on their their search. So whereas before it was, you know, don't create big long file names, I create really long file names and more or less use them as tags. So as long as the file names are relevant, I've got some sort of word in there that's relative to that file. But the other thing Google Search is you can search from within the document, so you don't have to remember what the file name is in particular, as long as you you know what is in that document. So that's another thing to think of when you're naming files. So I think what's really important is naming your files relevantly, so when you can see them, when you're searching for them, they come up in a list. There's a couple of ways of searching for files in Google Drive. If we click on the search drive up here and just click on the box, you can actually search by document type, PDF, text document, spreadsheets, presentations. So if we click on presentations, and it puts these in chronological order of when they were last modified or accessed, and it just brings up all the presentation types there. You can do the same for text document and spreadsheets. The other really handy way, especially if you're working with documents recently, is I always use this over on the left-hand side here called Recent. If we click on Recent, it just brings up all of the files you've been working on most recently. So that's a couple of areas that makes it easy to search for documents. But really, because they have a really good search, as soon as you start typing in the search, it brings up suggestions. If you don't want the suggestions, you just hit enter and it brings up everything, every file that has that word in it. So
Actually, that word in the document or in the name.
Yeah, in the document or in the name. Yes. The other thing you can do is you can click on this. Sorry, I'll do that again. This arrow, drop down arrow down here, and it brings up some more options. You can search by type, you can search by owner, location, date modified, item name, all sorts of things. And I've found personally that, you know, even if I've forgotten the name of a document, because it's got such a powerful search, you can find it, but you can't use tags. Has anyone else? That's my view on things. Happy for anyone else to share their best practice.
Does it search just the whole drive? You're not just going to a specific folder as such. It does the whole drive.
It does the whole drive. You can go and search in, you know, by clicking down here. You can search in particular folders, yeah. or you can just search by the whole drive, and it searches in the bin and everything. So, you know, it's really
neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can vouch for Andy's system because we use the same kind of method at 2Pi. So we'll be sharing documents with a dozen or so people, and don't have any problems, you know, having collective drives for everybody to access separated, but just using that search feature is excellent. So that's, yeah, it works great for when you're collaborating with a lot of different people.
Yeah. Another point we should bring up there, Jason, is the other area to look. If someone shares a file with you, just be aware that if we click on Shared with Me over the left-hand side here, that'll bring up the files that people have shared with me. Now, they'll stay in here unless you choose to move them to your My Drive. So if you know someone shared a file with you, that's another shortcut just to say, oh, I know someone shared a file with me. Click on Shared with Me and it'll bring up all the files that have been shared with you that are owned by other people. And you can then choose to actually move those to your drive as well.
That's awesome.
Karen, how are we faring with your question?
Yeah, I think the big tip is the long file name, I think, is because it's a different mindset, because I'm used to a short file name with subfolders, because I traditionally have worked offline more than online. So I don't always save everything to Google Drive because I need offline access. But yes, the logic is in that long file name, because I've always thought that you had to have like a short abbreviated file name, but it makes much more sense if you're using the search drive. The more words it has to search that are more relevant, then of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit right-brained, so my names can get a little too creative and then don't make sense later.
It also searches within. So, but it's funny though. There's a lot of forums around there as to why Google Drive doesn't have tags. They've got labels and tags everywhere else, but in their Google Drive. But yeah, because it's got good search function. So I more or less, in my file name, and this is just a personal thing that I do, I sort of put a tag in there. If there's something, that's always going to be relative, I want to be able to find a group of them, I just make sure I add a word in the file name.
Thank you.
Anyone else got any tips around that one?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
All right. We've got that one covered. Does that more or less gives you some sort of help, Karen?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. And thanks for the question. So that's, well, there are two questions which more or less covers our session, but really would like to ask anyone if they have any other questions that we can discuss, either for myself or for Jason here. Anyone's got any website questions, I'm sure he's happy to answer. Any website questions?
Website questions. I'm debating about pop-ups. We were talking about this yesterday, Jason. Pop-ups on websites for newsletters, and whether to get like, a pop-up to come up when you land on the page to start with or not.
That's a really good question, Kay, and I'd probably like to poll this audience and ask everyone here in this audience what their view is as consumers of whether they like or dislike pop-ups coming up on a website when they turn up to the website. I'll start with Cheryl. Sorry?
It's get out of the road.
Okay. And this
Do you ever sign up? Do you ever sign up on it?
I don't. I find it user hostile personally, because usually if I do a Google search and I'm looking for a product or service or whatever, and then I'll sort out the links that I think are going to be good. Then you land on a page and it's like, okay, reading through to make sure, is this what you're after? And then 5 seconds, it's like you're completely interrupted. You can't do anything. And it's like, sign up. It's like, give me the opportunity to sign up once I've vetted that your website is what I'm after, and this is what I want. So I think it's almost like having somebody, standing behind you at the checkout or something. It's like, are you ready to, like kind of pushing you all the time. It's like, I will check out when I'm ready. Thank you. But, it's kind of like really, that's how I feel. And,
okay. So that's a thumbs down from Jason and a thumbs down from
Thumbs down, oh no! I was adamant yesterday. Oh, Julie, is Julie saying thumbs up?
Yeah, no. I had it on my website and everybody hated it. So it's not on my new website, but my previous website, everyone used to whinge about it all the time. And I used to get sick of it myself. Every time I went on to do something, it would pop up and I thought, piss off. And people just got annoyed with it. So I didn't put it on the new website.
All right, Jason, I won't have it.
No. Karen, how about you?
I automatically put that little cross. It's like, if I want to sign up, I'll make my own decision and I'll go looking for it. But it really annoys me. I don't agree. I just shut it down because it's like, it's annoying. It's just like, as Jason said, you've already made up your mind about why you're going to the site. So you've got a thought process in action. And then this thing comes and interrupts what you're thinking about. So I find it like a time waster as well. And I find it personally offensive as well now. I'm done.
Okay, Nicole, what's your view?
The statistics show that they do work. I use them on most of my sites, but they need to be subtle these days because they came in with a bang and overwhelmed everybody a few years ago. But, you know, those who know that we can sell these products and do multi-millions worth of sales say that they do still work. So I think you see a lot of them now popping up very quietly on the bottom left-hand, right-hand corner on a lot of websites. I think it's a good idea. But you've got to wait more than 5 seconds as well. Make it pop up and scroll down to the bottom, not, you know, 3 or 4 seconds in. Very rarely do I ever have that happen anymore, but it did yesterday. So it's on a site for about 5 seconds and it popped up and went, yeah, crap. And it was big and it overlaid the whole page. You just don't do that anymore. But I think a pop-up is still really important.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Nicole. Just to let you, Kay, I used to have one of those on my website and I took it down. Instead, there is an option where you can have just a static one up the top on the bar where it doesn't pop up, but it's just there if they want. It's just there in the background. So as Jason and everyone says, then they can make the decision when they want to, you know, sign up. But it's still there.
How about an option when you check out? Do you want to join our newsletter?
Absolutely.
That's less offensive.
It should be the imperative. That should be imperative.
What's that?
It should be imperative to have it on your checkout page.
At checkout, yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you hear that, Jason?
I think he's gone.
He's gone. Oh, I've upset him.
Oh, sorry. Joe, how you go? So we've had Joe just join us. Joe's also new, tested out the membership, but she's come in at the end. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm great, everybody. Sorry, I must have got the times wrong. I was going for 12:30, so sorry. I've just read it and come in at the end. But looks like you've had an interesting session.
Yeah, well, I have recorded it, but yeah, sorry, you have come in. Just please introduce yourself, Joe. That'd be fantastic.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe from Tilba, Sea Health Products. We hand harvest kelp from South Coast area. Oh, nice one, Kate.
Beautiful.
So we do bath products that Kate's holding up there, and seaweed seasoning, so kelp flakes and kelp powder. It's an existing business that I bought. It's been going for 50 years in Narooma.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. How are you finding? Have you been on? Joe actually done my Smarter Q workshop last week.
Yeah, I think so. Last week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there any other questions before we do wrap up? No? No?
No.
Okay. Well, I think we will wrap it up there because, and unfortunately, like I said, Joe, you've come in at the end, but I have recorded this. If you do have any other questions, please post them on the Facebook group page. Best place to post them because not only can I answer the questions there, but everyone else can see your question and it might benefit someone else. So please post them there. I'm also about to create another part of the website that's going to address a lot of the small problems, but I can announce that a bit later. thank you for everyone for taking the time to attend today. It's been great, and hopefully we've answered some of your questions.
Thank you, Andy.
And yeah, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for your question, Karen. Thanks, Julie and Cheryl. And thank you, Nicole, for joining us from Jindabyne. Looking forward to coming up and presenting a digital audit workshop for you guys in another couple of weeks. And Kay, get back to the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to stir some pots.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Andy.
Bye.
I'll send you an email, Jason.
Excellent. No worries.